Good afternoon to all of you, and thank you very much for this invitation. It's a privilege to be here, and I would like to speak to you about the topic in the first instance that they've given to me, navigating today's wave of fast change. How difficult is that? But I've decided that, I wish you could see the pictures, that it's a little bit boring to talk about this. I don't know if you've had the opportunity, some of you, to go down to the beach and maybe you've seen that there are quite a nice number of surfboards. I would like to talk about surfing today. At this hour, it's after lunch, we are tired. Yeah, we had a quite nice singing a little bit earlier, but let's talk about surfing. But before we get there, let me remind you that we live in a changing world where change is the only constant. That is all we know, that everything changes. But even the pace of change, the rate of change is changing. It's getting faster and faster and faster. If you look at this, the historical adoption of technology, and you know that if you start with radio and TV and telecommunications, how faster and faster and shorter that period has become until the internet took only 7 years to be adopted by most of the public. And there are many things that will happen, like connected devices and electronic wallets and industrial robots, millions of them by 23, and many more people out of a job probably because of that. But it's happening faster and faster. The Internet of Things. When we talk about the Internet of Things, you talk about big data. You talk about artificial intelligence. That introductory video already showed it to you. You talk about robotics today. Self-driving cars is everywhere. Self-driving trucks have replaced many of the normal trucks in the United States and even in China. 3D printers getting bigger and bigger and printing more complex things, printing full houses. Broadband, nanotechnology, which is on a very, very small scale, and quantum computing, virtual reality, augmented reality, bioengineering, and we can continue. Blockchain, home automation, MEMS. Let us just continue. What a complex world. What a dynamic world. What a changing world do we live in. And this is where I come back to the surfing now to say, like waves, technology change never stops. You know the waves of the sea? They come and they come and they come, always. Sometimes they are large, very big, sometimes they are small, but they are continuous. Sometimes they are fast, sometimes they are slow. No two waves are exactly the same, not at all, never. But if you and I look closely, you can see some pattern. I don't know if you've done that. Have you ever, if you were in the waves, we used to say you can count to 7 and then there's a smaller wave or a bigger wave. You come to see the patterns depending on the time, depending on the tide, and so on. But what they do is they build up, they roll, they peak, and then they break. That's a pattern, and we can detect that pattern. So, managing technological change that we are supposed to be talking about today is just like surfing. Let me tell you that. I hope you have been surfing, some of you. The only difference between catching the wave and missing the wave, in this case technology change, is how well you understand that wave. How well you understand the characteristics of that wave. That particular wave, as the wave forms. Can you see it? Mr. CIO, Mr. CEO, can you see it? Mr. Cybersecurity Officer, can you see it? The new waves are forming. Or do you only see these little waves? This is what it is about. Any experienced surfer will tell you one thing. You cannot surf every wave. You don't surf the small waves. There's not enough energy. There's not enough. It's not worthwhile. It won't carry you through. Somewhere you will fall, you will tumble. And business leaders make a mistake by spending most of their time busy with execution, busy with operations, while they should have their eyes on the horizon to see when the new wave is forming. Our eyes on the horizon, reading the waves, seeing the patterns of what is happening in the field of technology. Do you know that, if you look at the pictures there as well, that surfers spend 80% of their time scanning the horizon and only 10% surfing. This is very much, to me, what a CEO and CIO and the whole C-suite should be doing. We are too busy. When last have you sit at your desk and think about the future? Think about where things are going. Think about where this massive, complex world of technology is going. It's time. We need to look away from business as usual. Look away from the small waves. There are many small waves coming and going. Look at the ocean and look at the big waves of technological change. It's all about surfing the big waves. Do you want to make a difference in Africa? Do you want to make a difference in your country, in your industry? Surf the big wave. The big technological changes. Big waves. There's a massive thing to do. Yes, it's risky, of course. Yes, you can fall, of course. But if you surf it, it's exhilarating. It's incredible if you do it. Let me tell you, I was part of the adjudication. I had the privilege of being one of 4 judges of the DX100. And the interesting thing is there were more than 400 companies from all over Africa that took part in this competition about digital transformation. But I can tell you one thing, and that is something that is a little bit concerning, is that very few were riding the big waves, the big technological waves. Very few. I also discovered from the applications that many people are still busy on a very basic level, digitization. What is that? That is just the move from analog to digital. That is the move from paper, putting all my ink on paper, all my paper files and records into computerized files. Many people wrote about, we asked them a question about innovation, and then they say, oh, innovation is we've implemented a document management system. It's not innovative anymore. That's basics. You have to do it. That's part of it. It's like saying email is innovative. Some people were a little bit further amongst the applications. Digitalization, where you use digital data to make your work more effective and efficient, a little bit to make it simpler, to work better, to do things in a better way, to enhance your processes. And then there's digital transformation, where you add value to the whole process, to people, processes, technology, where there's value to every customer interaction, to the way that we do business, to the way that I interact with my supply chain, where I create totally new business models. This is how we change the world. This is what we call disruptive technology. When you change the business model of banking, of manufacturing, of whatever you are in. Digital transformation is the process of using digital technologies to create new or to modify existing business processes, culture, and the customer experience. Why? Because the market is requiring it. Because the world is changing. This is digital transformation. A total change of how I do business. Total change of the culture. So it's time to surf the big waves. As you can see here, so it's a pity you don't have the sound. Otherwise you would have heard this wave. It talks. The rumbling of it. This is what we should do. I don't think I will do it. It's too tough. This guy is famous for surfing only the big waves. Okay, so time to surf the big waves. This means you will have to change 4 major things. You will talk in the panel that Harry will lead later more about these things. The one is you have to change your business model. The second one is you have to evolve your products and your services, your whole solutions portfolio. The third one is riding big waves mean redefine your customer experience. You need to touch it. And then, of course, work more effectively and efficiently. Navigating the wave of fast change is the why. Review your business model. You have to look at your business in a new way and change it. It's almost like changing the engine of your plane while you are flying. Or like somebody else wrote a book about building the bridge as you are walking on it. This is what we are supposed to be doing. Change that business model. That makes the difference. And then, of course, the what is define your strategy. You must have a strategy. You must have a digital transformation plan with regard to the future. And it includes people, teams, entire organization. You need to promote creativity and experimentation. Allow people to be innovative. Establish the necessary infrastructure. And lastly, you need to measure it. This is why you will hear people, when they speak about digital transformation, they speak about data analytics. You have to start measuring. What's the top benefits? I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. You improve operational efficiency, you meet customer expectations, you improve your product quality, etc. But there's a sad thing about it. 70% of digital transformation initiatives fail. Why? What is happening? Do you know what? Why does it fail? The first one is culture. I told you It's about a holistic process. It's not about changing a little bit of technology here and there. That's digitization. It's about changing your organizational culture. Somebody, Tobin Rick, said, organizational culture eats strategy for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Culture. Forget it. You can have the best strategy, but if you don't have the right, innovative, creative culture of people willing to change, you won't get it right. Lack of a clear vision and goals. You don't have a new business model. You are trying to patch the old business model. You need to know where you are going. Read the waves where you should be going. And then lastly, we need the tools and the techniques. Unfortunately, sometimes we don't, but we have to. A few conclusions. It's a photo of me there, very perplexed, as you can see. Let me tell you, technology will keep on changing. It will disrupt business. It will disrupt your business, if necessary. And we will have to adapt. We will have to transform digitally. Otherwise, we will be left behind. We will become dinosaurs. And we need to focus on the horizon and surf the big waves. This was good. George Westerman said, when digital transformation is done right, it's like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. You know, how beautiful is that butterfly? But when done wrong, all that you will have is a fast caterpillar. But you will remain a caterpillar. So thank you. I hope you will ride the big waves.